Dobra, tu jest jeszcze punkt główny. A zobaczmy, co tutaj jest. O.
I cannot make my mark on this web.
Okej. Czyli jeszcze tego nie możemy zrobić. Dobra. Musimy tutaj.
So, here we are.
I suppose now we step into the void.
Na to wygląda.
Dark rituals, void breach, general weirdness. Lemmy can't be far.
Ghost wards. I cannot manifest.
To jest w otchłani, można coś takiego zrobić?
Demonologists really like pushing the limits of their knowledge without considering other lives.
That just makes them human. Wards.
It's awfully calm. Why is it awfully calm?
Much better.
Dobra.
Destroy those ghost wards if you want me back.
Spadać. O.
Spectres. They haven't noticed us. Stay low. Ghost wards. I cannot manifest.
Careful now.
Co to jest? Aha, to jest to. Kolejny, dobra. Kurde, nie, że sobie nie radzi tej otchłanilami, kurde, nie? Masakra. Zretny chłopak.
Creepy hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased. This one's different. Looks like it died diseased.
Okay.
This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you. Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void. So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing. How on God's earth did you find me? Never mind that. Thank the Lord you did. Thought I was going to grow old in here.
Ukrywasz się w otchłani?
As hiding places go, the void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Or plane? World? The Araloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to me tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Oh. Of course.
Odnośnie Kaleba.
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
Uznałeś jego smutek za okazję.
You saw his grief as an opportunity to test the effects of the lesser palingenesis.
Oh. You know the ritual too? Amazing, isn't it?
I've studied it. The actual ritual. Not the mangled version you gave Caleb.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of Die Occulte Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating.
Bo to narażą cię na niebezpieczeństwo.
Are you aware of what would happen if people learnt of your studies?
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Will you still say that when Pennington accuses you of witchcraft? You must remember Deborah.
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other, we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
Kim naprawdę jesteś?
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I am a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning, and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
Kto nauczył się tego wszystkiego?
You did not find the void breach beneath the mill by accident. You had help. Who taught you?
I did my research.
Suddenly, you're a man of few words.
I'd rather not involve those not present. Discretion, you understand.
Chodzi tu o twoje życie.
We find you up to your neck in the blackest magic, speechifying about your transcendent journey. Your life is on the line, Lammy.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
Aye, I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir. Then, of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them. The very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong. Apart from a little theft.
Odnośnie twoich badań nad demonologią.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Kim był ten przyjaciel?
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
Co tutaj robisz?
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now, at first, I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Araloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
Odnośnie do Arolu.
By the Araloo, do you mean the void?
Neither name does it justice. This place is beyond words. The Araloo, Mr. McCraith, is made of the very fabric of our primordial myths. Isn't it amazing?
Możesz to udowodnić?
How can you be sure the void has tainted the region?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Yes. We learned of it in Fort Jericho.
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Araloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink, on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
You've based all this on a peculiar smell.
Well, not only that, also observation, experience, elimination of other possibilities. As a Banisher, you surely understand that the limits of our perception far exceed the bounds of our normal attention. As a scientist, it's important to look closer, the better to understand what the Araloo is really made of. Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
Nieźle.
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lami. But thank you.
Okej, młody kurde jest ciekawy, nie? Powiem wam. A tu jest jeszcze jakaś istota. Właśnie. Cóż to za istota, nie?
Pardon my morbid enthusiasm, Mistress Duarte, but could I ask you a few questions?
What do you wish to know?
Do you still need to eat? Do you feel hunger? Sorry, it's just you're the first ghost I've met, in person, as it were.
I don't eat. Not in the way you do. I feel hunger. Again, not in the way you do.
Fascinating. And can you touch things, smell them? Are colours the same as you remember them?
My senses are different. It's difficult to describe how. I can see, sometimes touch. I cannot smell. Red tells me this is a blessing.
How do you manifest in this plane? Do you feel bound, or are you here by choice?
It feels as if I were clinging to a rope, high above the abyss. Even if I wished to let go, I could not bring myself to do it.
I see. What about your banisher skills? Can you use them? Do the accoutrements of your craft still work? As a ghost, do they not harm you?
The marks on my hands and the rings on my fingers aren't actually there. They have no more effect on me than a memory.
Can you talk to any ghost you wish?
No. I sense traces of their presence. To talk to them, I must still do the work.
And yet here I am, talking to you. How marvelous. The dead are rarely as articulate, nor are they accommodating. In fact, they're often quite rude.
We should probably get going. Some other time, then.
But we have merely scratched at the surface of the great mist.
Antea, we should get going.
No, młody gada i gada, nie?
So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
I was as earnest as he. Ah, the rank enthusiasm of youth. It's sickening, really. I can't smell the stench Lami spoke of, but I feel strange, and I suspect the ooze.
Only one way to find out. Oh, God. I need a wee bit of help here.
Yeah.
Well, that was not pleasant. Not pleasant at all.
Red, I can't manifest anymore. Wards. I'm going to need a hand here. Sorry, not this time.
Kurde. Dużo tutaj tego. Gdzie ten wording jest, nie?
A ward restrains me.
A, tu jest, dobra.
should get back up. It oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
Let's see what lies on the other side.
Kolejne? Otchłań w otchłani? Czy to się teleportujemy do Reala?
Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
Ciemnica. Okej.
The ooze affects the incarnate too.
No młody miał rację trochę, nie?
Who goes there?
Il Inquisitore.
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone. What might you be then?
What was...
Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You?
Jeśli to Anata powiedziała, znaczy, że jest naprawdę źle.
It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
Nic nie ma. Okay. Lords of the Mighty. O. Spoko.
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs.
To wewnątrz puszki Pandory.
Did you feel that?
It's close.
The Gibbs' land was barren. They were struggling for money.
Look up. The ooze, oozed through the very stone.
O, to jest idol, dobra.
And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Maybe it was personal.
Was the Gibbs' house targeted by the ooze?
Obviously. Look around you.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well,
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
Ooh.
That was Deborah. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart.
Nice. Bastard. Bastardo. No dobrze, ludziska, ale sądzę, że w tym momencie się zatrzymamy. Na dzisiaj to będzie to tyle. Widzimy się jutro. Jutro mamy środę nieprodunia, więc się zobaczymy dalej przy Banishers Ghost of Neiden. Będziemy dalej kontynuować ludziska. Mamy ile na liczniku? Ponad 40 godzin już będziemy mieli, czy jeszcze nie? Zobaczmy. Tak, 42 godziny, powiem wam. 42 godziny mamy na liczniku, więc jest całkiem zęcnie. Zbliżamy się powolutku ku końcowi i zobaczymy. Może weekendzik się uda kończyć. Kto wie. Ja na pewno dziękuję za dzisiejszy wieczorek. Życzę wam naszego miłego wieczorku i widzimy się jutro o godzinie 19 bliska dalej przy Banishersach. Także jeszcze raz serdeczne dzięki. Trzymajcie się. Hej.